up this party.
What's up, dudes and dudettes? It's Brock here. And it's time to do yet another Historic Camp, Defunct episode. Today we're talking about Batman, The Escape. This coaster was revolutionary back in the 80s, then it became a rusty heap of yellow track before eventually becoming scrap metal. How, why, and when this happened? Let's get on down to it. Back in the 1980s, Swiss manufacturer Intamin mainly worked with their subcontractor Giovanola. Giovanola would help Intamin build their rides and bring some of their roller coasters to life, such as the Swiss bobsled model, 3 of which are still operating, the Space Diver, which is one of the worst roller coasters ever made, and a new planned model, named the stand-up coaster. Here's a super cool fun fact: Giovanola had 2 well-known employees, named Walter Bolliger and Claude Mabillard, who left in 1987 and founded their own company, Bolliger and Mabillard, or BAMP, M for short. The stand-up coaster was tested out, sent to what is now considered one of the best Six Flags parks in the chain, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and opened to the public in 1986, under the name Shockwave. Coincidentally enough, this coaster opened on the former spot occupied by the Sarajevo bobsled coaster. However, Shockwave only lasted 3 years, because Six Flags, at the time, had a transition system, called the Ride Rotation Program. As the name suggests, this program was used by Six Flags to move rides around their properties. So as a result, Shockwave was relocated to Six Flags Great Adventure. The coaster was relocated from its black paint scheme into a blue and grayish-white scheme. The coaster was given a name pole, and despite it already having the same name, the name Shockwave was chosen. On April 20, 1990, the day before it opened, there was a Media Day ceremony, featuring the Looney Tunes, with Bugs Bunny wearing a blue and yellow jumpsuit. With the Media Day aside, Shockwave opened on the following day on April 21, and it was a success. It once again opened as the tallest and fastest stand-up coaster. Its queue line even had vending machines, making it one of the first coasters to include them. However, in 1992, the Ride Rotation Program struck yet again, and Shockwave would be dismantled again after just 2 seasons. Its space has been occupied by a sky coaster attraction named Daredevil. After operating at both Magic Mountain and Great Escape, the coaster returned in 1993 at Houston, Texas, now defunct Six Flags Astro World. Unlike its previous locations, the coaster would now be heavily rethemed. This time it would be themed to Batman. The ride itself was named Batman, The Escape. In addition to being repainted entirely white, there would also be several theming to the DC Comics superhero. Batman Returns was the newest Batman movie at that time. Like I said in my first ever Historic Camp, Defunct video, the guests are getting pursued by the villainous Penguin. The queue line would go through Arctic Park, and the Gotham City cold storage, where the guests would escape on the trains, hence the name. In addition, the park even reused the abandoned mountain from the old Alpine sleigh ride, and turned it into the Batcave. In it, you could find some of Batman/Bruce Wayne's computer gadgets, an actual bat suit, and even a full-scale Batmobile. However, the Batcave was eliminated in 1998 for unknown reasons, but my guess is that it had something to do with Premier Parks purchasing Six Flags from Time Warner that year. Around this time, the coaster has started to show its age. Most notably, the train's restraints began to bang riders' heads from side to side. Nevertheless, the coaster operated for 12 years. For a while, it seemed like the coaster finally found a home. But it wouldn't be there for good, because it only operated there until Six Flags Astro World closed forever on October 30, 2005, and within months, the entire park's land was demolished and cleared. The reason the park closed was because of parking issues with Astro World and the Astrodome's new nearby neighbor, Energy Reliant Stadium. The other reason was because of low visitor numbers and long neglection. As for Batman The Escape, it was relocated to Six Flags Darien Lake at Corfu, New York. It would be stored in an empty lot across the street from the park. However, by the time the track got there, Six Flags made the decision to put Darien Lake up for sale. While Darien Lake found a new owner, it was still thought that the coaster would reopen at some point in the future. But for the next 13 years, the track was still sitting at the storage lot, and it was exposed to the elements and rusting away in the sun. By 2017, the track was still there and it was now just a rusty heap of yellow objects. In that year, park officials finally spoke about the track, and they announced that there were no plans to reopen it. And besides, reconstructing the coaster a 4th time wasn't worth it. It was likely that the components weren't delivered, and because of that Six Flags possibly changed their minds about rebuilding it at Darien Lake, and the new owners were just told to do what they wanted with it. Finally, in August 2018, the track was scrapped for good after 13 years of rusting in the sun. In total, this coaster was one of only 3 stand-up models built by Intamin. And with this and La Cobra from Laron dead, only Shockwave at England's Drayton's Manor is running, even though it's being converted to a regular sit-down coaster. So I recommend you catch a rare credit if you want to, or if you're really ready for closer types, check out some of BAM's similar models.
Can't you see the light in me? Can't you see the light I see? And every time we cross I feel the stabbing in my heart. Your love is razor sharp.